Okay, I'm ready if you are.
I sure am. All right, well, welcome everybody. We have our Certified Logistics Technician Virtual Pathway to High Demand career today. My name is Owen Tharp. I'm with the University of Tennessee. Today, I will be your room host, which really just means that I'll be monitoring the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Some of you are already using the chat feature, but if you need to know, it is actually in the CTE website, not here on Zoom itself. As we get towards the end of the presentation, I will provide you all with the password so that you can take on the survey. That survey can be found again on that CTE website link there. So without further ado, Debbie, I turn that over to you.
Good afternoon. I'm Debi Crabtree. I'm the founder and CEO of Village Virtual. We are an online learning company that serves students in the K-12 environment. Joining me as co-host today is Lindy Henley. He's a senior manager with Tranco Logistics, and I'm so delighted to have an expert here with me in this presentation. He'll have someone possibly joining him in a few minutes as well, and we'll be happy to introduce his director of warehousing. Bobby Jo Henry at Valker sends her best regards. She's also been extremely involved with us in rolling out this program, but her schedule, and I'm sure Lindy can attest to how busy they are in the logistics industry right now, just didn't allow that. So I'm just going to kind of jump in and share with you a presentation I've made with the invitation to Lindy and the folks at Tranco to jump in at any point that they want to. They're the experts in the field here. Okay, so let me switch over here and share my screen with you and start my presentation here. So I'm very interested in CTE altogether. Although I have spent most of my 13 years in virtual school implementations serving up core. But a couple of years ago, we got real interested in CTE and saw the online learning world as a great place for CTE to be delivered to students who might otherwise have limited opportunities in that area. And we began to just absorb everything we could in the CTE arena. I became acquainted with some folks at MSSC, and they sort of began to get me interested in the CPT and CLT worlds. And for quite a while, we were not able to hook up anything around logistics. But I ultimately was able to kind of put together some courseware and get connected to the right folks to help me upload the right sort of documents and learning opportunities, and then began to learn a little bit about the logistics industry, which I found to be fascinating. For those of you who may be unfamiliar, as I was at the beginning of this journey, logistics is everything from the corn in the field to I'm eating it on my kitchen table, and just about everything in between. It's an $83 billion industry and growing. As a result of COVID, I think we've all become aware of just how fundamental the logistics industry is to our everyday lives. I can't think of anyone who hasn't been directly impacted by the logistics industry as we've all tried to keep life together in the pandemic. Everything that's coming to you probably right now is getting to you because of the logistics industry. There was also the Amazon effect that was sort of already part of what was happening in this industry, that as Amazon perfected its, I'll get there to you tomorrow, business model, everybody had to sort of step up what they were doing around logistics because customers began to expect, why am I having to wait for this? Why am I having to go to the store for this? Of course, COVID has slowed things down just a little bit, but we sort of expect now that things to be delivered to the door. Another thing that I learned about the logistics industry as I began to delve into it and learn and get to know it was how technology rich it was. I think before I just thought of, well, there's somebody in a warehouse, you know, pushing a two-wheeler and stuff, moving stuff around. Oh, it is so much more than that, and such a rich environment with the new technologies that are being developed around logistics. And it is a rapidly evolving industry. And I think Lindy and his folks, oh, hi, Jeff, you've joined us, there at Tranco can even speak a little bit more to that. I dipped into ONET, a tool on the Department of Labor's website that you might want to check out to just kind of see what's happening with the logistics industry through various career pathways. And here, kind of at the stockroom, warehouse, store yard thing, you see that Tennessee and New Hampshire are the states with above average opportunities in that field. But even more striking, as we go through various job opportunities, you see for supply chain managers, Tennessee still in the orange there with above average. Storage and distribution managers, we're still in the above average. For logistic managers, we're still there in the above average. Transportation managers. And I pulled this information from the Tennessee, Mastered in Tennessee website, which gives you these quick facts that there's 218,000 Tennesseans employed by distribution and logistics establishment, over 13,000 distribution and logistics establishments in Tennessee, and the state is, of course, home to the busiest cargo airport in the Western Hemisphere. Logistics is part and parcel of the Tennessee economy, something I really was not aware of before I began to kind of dip into research what this CTE pathway looked like and whether or not there was a need. Here's some additional quick facts. We're #1 in the Southeast for courier and messenger industry employment. There's a $3 billion capital investment from distribution and logistics projects since 2014. And Tennessee was voted the second in the country for best infrastructure. So the fields are white for harvest, if you will. In looking at employment concentrations across counties, you can kind of see in the more than 1,500 area where a lot of this is situated. My business being in Chattanooga, and I'm from Chattanooga, and Lindy and Jeff are with Tranco in Chattanooga, they can kind of speak to that area, but you see that it is widespread across the state in a number of areas. In researching, doing some research for a presentation I did in Memphis, I kind of dipped a little bit into railways, and just looking at these graphics, I think helps frame this discussion about the need, because you can see that Chattanooga is connected, or Memphis in this case, to all the major supply routes. Memphis airport, second only to Hong Kong in cargo. And you see here by this arc that 75% of the US population can be reached within a 20-hour drive time from Memphis, and add just a little bit onto that for Chattanooga and other areas in the state. And this is from the Memphis Business Journal, but you can see that there are a number of industries across the state that have huge presence in Tennessee. Lindy, I want to pause right here and give you and Jeff kind of a chance to say a little bit more there.
Well, if you're referring to Chattanooga alone, you know, we're the pathway to north and south, and that's the reason that you keep seeing Tennessee on all those maps, is that all the logistics, warehousing, trucking, we're so centrally located in Tennessee that you can get to anywhere from here. Even if you look at where our trucks, if I look at that, it's amazing. When I was looking at the video before that you're showing, that our trucks actually that circle right there, that's kind of the radius of our trucks right now. You know, the West Coast, I don't know why the supply chain is a little bit different out there, but who services them? Not really as much us, but the circle that you see right there, we get all that. But what we want to reach out with the people that are high school and coming into age, an employment opportunity that you can start reaching now and learning about while you're in high school will transfer into an immediate job when you get out. Do you have to have a college education to get in the transportation industry? No, you don't have to have one. I'm not discouraging it. It helps. I'm sure Jeff here went to Harvard or something like that, but I went to UTC in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm just kidding about Jeff.
Yeah, it's close right behind it at UT Knoxville. So,
but Jeff's over 2.5 million square feet of warehouse space. That's what he manages, and I manage, you know, a little over 200 drivers. So you getting a foothold in high school to where when you come out of high school, you can start working immediately in this industry and still go to college at the same time. There's that kind of opportunity.
Thank you, Lindy.
Sure.
So as I begin to get to know folks in the industry, and Kinko has been very supportive of the program that we've been kind of trying, this opportunity we're trying to put together, as has Bobby Joe that I mentioned earlier, and the folks at US Express as well, and others. But as I began to have these conversations, this is what they all said: labor is my biggest concern. And so we are trying to bridge the gap there a little bit between this growing, vital industry that is so foundational for the Tennessee economy, and what we can do in high school to at least graduate students that know about the opportunity, that have some basic vocabulary about the opportunity, that know basic safety around working in these environments. It will save them time once they are employed by one of these companies. It will save the company time on getting them to that basic level if they can come in with some of this basic knowledge. So in looking here at the Tennessee requirements for this CTE pathway, this was one of the things that we looked at there as we begin to try to put together, connect the dots, if you will. The level 1, Introduction to Business and Marketing, with level 2 of Foundations of Supply Chain, and then the level 3, the Supply Chain Management, that needed this certification opportunity to go with it. And of course, you have the Microsoft Excel as well. So we aligned 3 courses in the pathway. Not every school, we understand, will need all 3, but in talking with CTE directors in schools, and I've worked with educators across several states now, both in core and CTE, and this was a theme I heard across all of them, was that, great, you've got 1 course. I can't do anything with 1 course. They take 1 course. If I can't back that up with something face-to-face, then that's a dead end. I need to know that students can access all 3 levels and get that credential. So that's what we tried to put together. We also offer a course that prepares students to take the Microsoft Excel. The drones certification course is a brand new one we're rolling out this fall as well, and also complements this program very, very well. And blockchain, I think, is sort of the next thing kind of down the path as well. So all of these things work together to create, I think, a really, really robust opportunity for students in this pathway. I'm going to just drop in right here oh no, it was that's where I wanted to go here, and drop into the course. If I can remember, log in here and just show you some courseware.
And Debbie, as you do that, I'd like to interrupt just really quickly here. I saw somebody had a hand raised. If you have any questions, please direct those to the chat here. But the question that I have, and I hope that this is the person that asked it, could we have Lindy and Jeff's information for a business class?
Wait a minute, can you hear me? Yeah, what information would you like? What, like contact information or where we work?
Contact, yes.
Yeah, you can have mine. I'd be happy to share that with you. 423, my phone number, 803-2266. And that's Tranco Logistics, and that's the safety department.
Is Lindy's cell phone?
And I'm not giving out my cell phone, but I'll give you my email address.
Hang on, I got it. I give it out.
Hey, wait, Jeff will give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want 3 o'clock in the morning phone calls. Lindy, Lindy .Henley, HENLEY at Tranco, TRANCO, Logistics, LOGISTICS.com. And, you know, that's probably the best way for them to reach out at the beginning is via email, because I can read their question and I know a lot, but I don't know everything. And so then I can reach out and find the answers to it. We were just talking this morning. It's amazing that in our managers meeting this morning, we have every 2 weeks, virtual learning came up because we're talking about, you know, what families are having to deal with today, because, you know, we're concerned about the worker, because without the worker, Jeff and I, we don't have a job if we don't have workers here. And so the workers are all having this background information that's thrown at them right now about their kids in school. You know, are you going to class? Are you going to do this virtually? Are you going to, are you going to,
Zoom meetings?
yeah, there's all these different opportunities. But the cool thing about this virtual learning is that it's yours to grasp. Not everybody can be as lucky as I was. You know, I started at UPS when I was in college. Well, I started at UPS when I was in high school, part-time. But when I got to college, I made more money part-time than my father made while I attended college for working at UPS. So I started in this industry just by haphazardly landing as a kid in the back of a trailer, unloading a truck of packages. But the good thing along the way is that it's built a foundation of learning that I had to get with hands-on that I think that you can get now virtually through your computer. That wasn't around, you know, unfortunately, when I was your age. I had to learn things at School of Hard Knocks, I guess is what it was. But now you have the opportunity to garner the information that I learned in 20 years, you could physically get in a couple of months on a computer. And I think that's the most exciting thing that I can think about all this, that someone could learn what it took me years of studying and learning and being around and putting my hands on it. You can learn that via computer. So, but I encourage you, reach out via email. If you got questions, I'll do my best. We are running a business in the background, but I'm interested in you and getting you started in where we are, because one day I'd love for you to work for us. You know, we need employees every day. And in our industry, like Deb said, this is the problem, is that there's people that Jeff and I were just giggling about it. Everybody wants to come in and have my office sitting in here in the air conditioner, but nobody sees where I started with the sweat dripping off my brow in the back of a trailer. But the things that I learned along the way have given me the information to sit here. So maybe visually that you can learn, virtually you can learn some of the things, the sweat equity that I put into it, that you can put into, you know, foundationally on the computer. It's pretty exciting stuff though. But reach out. Look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Lindy. Any other questions we'd like to address Owen at this moment?
I just brought
I have a really quick one here. What's that?
I just brought Jeff because he's prettier than me.
So we have, in your research, have you come across an average rate of pay for supply chain or logistics managers?
There is a vast difference, and depending on where you are, I mean, that's a.
Yeah, it also depends on what industry you're in. So if you get into things like controlled substances through pharmaceuticals, that's going to be a lot more entailed and so forth with all the requirements and responsibilities versus if you were supply chain manager, say for a lumber yard. Both of them is very important. You've got to still get all your stock and inventory and control all that, and your project management, everything goes with it. But if you mess up a load of lumber coming in versus a load of controlled substances, that's two completely different things. So depending on, you know, again, what kind of industry you're in, that can, between that and regional, right? A supply chain manager in Chattanooga is not going to make the same as a supply chain in, say, Atlanta or a Nashville.
All right.
But there's good money in it. How about that?
Yeah.
Really good money.
Yeah, there is good money in it.
Yeah.
And lots of opportunity.
Yeah, lots of different directions of opportunity.
Well, and like I was telling Lindy a minute ago, you know, like him, I come up through the ranks. I did go to UT, which is probably one of the best logistics schools. I actually studied for this. I don't know why sometimes, but also the stuff nowadays, all the systems, all the scanning, all the technology, that wasn't there 30 years ago, and it's continuing to evolve. And you know, I've got a 14-year-old son that if I need something done, I start feeling like my parents we used to on the VCR that blinked the 12 o'clock because they didn't know how to set the time. I do the same thing with my smartphone and anything else. I go, son, what is this doing? What is that? And they know that. That's where, but somehow we've got to bridge that gap that they come out of high school and go, man, I'm great with my phones and electronics and technology and social media and all this stuff. But to hit the base level at the facility is out in the warehouse, is up in the back of trucks, is sweating, is getting dirty, all those other adjectives. And somehow we've got to bridge that gap where it's going to take them a few years to work their way up into a lead position or supervisor's position, that then they have an office and they can sit in, you know, sometimes be off the warehouse floor and what have you, versus, hey, I graduated, I want to come in, I want an office job making six figures because I'm good at electronics. And there's a gap there, and somehow we've got to figure out how to bridge that gap. But there's definitely potential. I just saw a thing this morning on TV about the top positions that you can have without a college degree, and one of them was a transportation manager. And they had, I think it was a police chief. I mean, there were several different ones on there, but on Fox News this morning, I thought that was pretty interesting, and so forth. But, you know, looking at it in that direction is to, again, I think it's a great opportunity coming out, because college is not for everyone. I do encourage it, but some it's not. And it's good to have them come right out and get that hands-on experience. And I know other CTE programs going on with companies like Gestamp and Volkswagen and others. So definitely a great opportunity.
Okay. Owen, is there another question you'd like to get to, or we can kind of poke through a few more slides and even, of course.
You can move right along. We don't have any more.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and just cover a couple more things here in the presentation, and then if you want me to go back through and look at some courseware itself, I'm happy to. I think Jeff and Lindy hit on a couple of things, and some of these may not, the UTC CLTD program is an opportunity that may be more local to Tennessee, but UTK has a great program, and a number of colleges throughout the state do. But I think the point to be made is that with, while this is a foundational credential, as you may be aware, in Tennessee, the EPSO, or the Postsecondary Opportunity, is with the CLT, the Certified Logistics Technician certification or credential. You have to test for the CLA, Certified Logistics Associate credential, in order to sit for the CLT. So in effect, students test for both. And it gives them a great leg up into the industry. But it's not, it doesn't stop there. That's one of the things that, as I began to poke at this industry and learn more from folks like Jeff and Lindy and others, was that there's a whole world of opportunity out there. Do you want to go on and pursue a college degree in information technology that then you apply to a logistics career? Absolutely. So there's just lots and lots of room for growth. and upward mobility. And for me, that's also a huge thing that's important in offering any sort of credential in the CTE area. It's great to offer something that gets you a job immediately, and some kids need that, but it's not a dead end. There's lots of opportunity, and with robotics is just exploding in this industry. And then of course, utilization of drones, another really cutting edge piece, and then blockchain after that I can't say I really even quite all the way understand blockchain as yet, but it's coming. We did a little poking into companies that also offer tuition or programs within the company that pays students to continue to learn. And these are just a sample. Many folks do that. These are some shots that I took at a supply chain symposium that was hosted at Kinko there in Chattanooga. I was fascinated by the augmented reality and so many of the fascinating, like this logistic view here. This is a little headset that when a warehouse worker wears it, they can, it points them to where the bin where they need to go to get any particular item that may be, say, in order fulfillment if they were working there. So this headset works like Google Glasses, if you will, and actually color codes what they're looking at so they can find the things that they're looking for more quickly. So those kinds of technologies are very much alive and very much growing in this industry. So this is not just something you're training your students to be a warehouse worker. That may be where they start, as Lindy has described his journey, but it's not where they have to stay if they want to grow. And I think that's an important distinction. I think that meets some of the Perkins 5 criteria for this, that it is, has a progression, and that I love that the employment opportunities for special populations. If you noted, I kind of bumped through it rather quickly, but in the slide where I showed Bobby Joe and Paula from Kinko and Amanda, I believe it was, from US Express, 3 gals. I mean, you kind of normally sort of think, I thought that the logistics industry was just kind of going to be a male-dominated field, but there are lots of women in this industry. So I love that this is a credential that's not just for guys. The Tennessee Business Roundtable has also been heavily involved in the conversation as we have been trying to push out this new opportunity in this pathway and get the word out. They have created a fund through which business and industry can contribute to set up scholarships for students and for schools that can then access the courseware and sit for the industry exams. So I have more information on that. If I can connect you to Pat Sheehy, who heads up the Tennessee Business Roundtable, and Cassie Foote over in Shelby County works directly with the fellow who set up this fund. And this is something we're going to continue to pursue as part of the conversation, connecting business and industry very closely with everything that we're trying to do here, and to get investment, not just dollars, but also setting up opportunities for kids to get acquainted, to visit. I'm investigating, trying to figure out how virtual internships would work as well for companies who have concerns about younger students being on their warehouse floors and so on. So I just think we're just at the cusp of it with so much more growth. I've quoted Lindy here. I didn't know if he was going to make it today, so I was determined you were going to have a presence in here. But I appreciate that he and Bruce, founder of the company, have taken their time and really been involved with us from the get-go with looking over the courseware, making sure it aligns well, and seeing that it had value. We want it to have value for business and industry, and that will encourage schools then to connect to the opportunity. And then Bobby Joe also was able to provide an endorsement from Walker that they really feel like reaching down into high school to begin to create this workforce development piece, let them understand the opportunity, get connected to the language of this opportunity would be good for the industry as a whole. So that's all I have for you, unless you would like for me to take you into some courses and actually show some of the courses. If you want to grab my information while we're on this slide, I'm happy for you to reach out and ask for a demo login. Be happy to put you in the courses and let you step through there and see what they're all about. We do have level 1, level 2, and level 3 courses. The level 3 course provides an test prep. It is test prep for sitting for the CLA and CLT tests. So that's the goal of the program, is to get those kids certified and ready to walk in to talk to somebody like Jeff or Lindy. So let's stop right there and ask Owen if we have some more questions we can address.
We sure do. So the first one that I have is, how does this work in high school? Are there special classes, or prepare students to pass a test, or is there a program?
Yes, so let's just take a moment right here, and I'm just going to pop in over on the LMS side here. Let me share my screen again. Picture's kind of worth 1,000 words. So here I am kind of on the back end side of the learning management platform where the courses live. I'm logged in as my student, Steve Jobs. And Steve is enrolled in a number of courses here that we've talked about. This is the level 1 course, the Principles of Business Marketing and Finance. A lot of schools have access to this course, but it's nice to have it completely virtual across the entire platform. I'll just quickly show you a little bit about what this course looks like. We did not develop this course, we developed the other 2, but just kind of give you kind of the look and feel of it here, of what online learning looks like if you're not familiar. I believe we also have a text-to-speech feature here with SpeechStream. We've embedded that in a number of our courses, and I believe that this particular content partner has also recently rolled out that feature, and we have not embedded it yet. I'll need to get more information on that, but the text-to-speech feature would allow the content to be read to a student who might be a struggling reader. The other 2 courses look a little bit different, so let's just pop into this one. This is the Foundations of Supply Chain Management, so let's just go into the warehousing piece right here. I'll just give you a little taste of what this looks like here. Let's see, I think it's, let me go to a page.
Warehouses versus distribution centers. Click on each category to learn more.
So you can see
A
that
warehouse is
a little
facility
more
that is designed to receive and store
interactive, a little
goods
bit
until
more,
they are needed by the
kind
next
of really
link in
got
the supply
a
chain.
training
A
looking
warehouse
feel.
can be used to hold goods that are going to a manufacturer for
Highly
further processing,
interactive for
or it
students,
can be
though.
used to house goods that are being shipped to a wholesaler or retailer.
So I'm not sure. Oh, I'm supposed to click distribution center, so it won't let me go
Facility
forward
that
till I've
houses
done
goods
that.
temporarily until they can be shipped to the customer. A distribution center is often
And we put that course together from content that actually I think been federally funded. So we were able to pull that content in and build out all the features of our LMS around it. And same thing for this one. It has a similar look and feel. So let's just say we're going to drop in here to the global supply chain logistics module, and then you can see that it's sort of—
Welcome to this module, Global Supply Chain Logistics. Global supply chain logistics is the lifeblood of the world economy. It's the process through which material, information, and money flow from the source of supply to the consumer. This process occurs within company. Logistics is the link between these facilities within the supply chain. In the broadest sense, supply chain logistics involves the efficient, effective forward and reverse flow and storage of goods, services, and related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption,
and so on. In this particular, this course is the exam prep. So we do have practice exams for each of this one to prepare for the CLA and this one to prepare for the CLT. The teacher that we have available is CLA, CLT certified, and actually all of the teachers for this course would be a requirement. That would be a requirement of MSSC. So this is kind of what the learning management system environment looks like. They just kind of click on a course. You can go over and look at your grade book at any time to see what all you've completed and what is yet to be turned in. The activity log captures every click a student makes in the environment. So from an oversight point of view, maybe you want to use your own teacher. It's something we honestly encourage with our partners it helps grow programs in a very organic way when you have a teacher who's interested in certifying to teach the courses or who already is certified. But these are just some of the tools. There are so many ways to track progress of students and support students in this learning management system and in the integrated student information system that we have with it all, that it'd be impossible for me to show you all of those features in this short amount of time, but every click is tracked. You can see here, both in the learning management system and over on the student information system side, you can always see how many total minutes students are logging in, what day they're logging in, what they're accessing, what time of day it was, how long they stayed there. I'm not sure if we have, no, we don't see, I don't think we have standards that link to that particular course. Let's see if we have them with this one. With all of our core courses, we have those all linked to course standards, but these are a little bit different. CTE is a little bit different from core. But you can always track in granular detail what students are doing, how long they're staying, what they're needing help with, providing all kinds of feedback along the way from teachers. But I'm not here to really show you the LMS so much as to just introduce you to this opportunity, which we have tried to put together along with our business and industry partners to try to connect the dots around here to open up this workforce development piece for students across the state, because we believe this industry is foundational to Tennessee's economy. Lindy, why don't you and Jeff jump in here and give us a few parting words?
Hey, really, thanks for joining in and listening. Learning the direction that you want to go in life takes a lot of dipping your toes into a lot of waters to find out what fits. The cool thing about our industry is that there's a lot of different things that you can dip your toes in. We're not so singular. Like Jeff mentions the things that he does. I don't have anything to do with the warehouse section of that. That's a whole different opportunity inside the logistics. But things like go back to tracking, scanning. I can remember, just a great example is I can remember being at UPS and giggling about FedEx, the idea that FedEx presented of delivering a package from Chattanooga to Los Angeles overnight. I remember being at UPS in management thinking, what a ridiculous idea. But if you look back about the building blocks that led up to that, it seemed foreign to me because we knew how we did things. FedEx looked at it from a different perspective, and they used input from other sources to figure out how they're going to do it. And that's what brought along package tracking, package scanning, all the things that UPS does today that, like I say, 20 years ago, I remember sitting in a boardroom and giggling about Fred Smith and the idea he had at FedEx, but it was the people that were coming into the industry. It wasn't people that were sitting there. I was the guy sitting there. I was the guy that thought this is the way we do things, but it's the new people coming in, the new blood coming in, the influx of ideas and young people coming up bringing computer technologies, scanning technologies, things that were foreign to an older guy like me. That's the norm today. So that's where you have an opportunity. There's a lot of different places that you can go inside our industry. But this is a great building block, just a beginning, a starting point of knowledge. Because if you started in the warehouse, let's just say that you started like Lindy did, in the back of a trailer, unloading a truck, sweat equity, unloading boxes out of a truck. The guy that moves into the office faster is the guy with the most knowledge that can help facilitate that same job over and over repetitiously. Well, if you're learning this now from a high school perspective, you've got a leg up on the people that are just entering the business, because you got a base knowledge of the business, how it works, how it flows. I learned how it flowed because I started in the back of a tractor unloading trucks, and then I went out to I washed trucks, so I learned about the fuel and oil reconciliation, and then I went to driving and I learned about the delivery, and then I went to training drivers, so I learned how to train drivers, and I learned about managing drivers. So I had all these little building blocks where I learned along the way, and here I am 40 something years later, and I look, and it's the things that you could learn in, I don't know, 4 or 5 semesters of school. You gather information that's taken me 40 years to, and I'm envious. I'm excited about it for you. So I wish you luck in what you choose. God bless you and take care of you. And I hope that you're safe wherever you're at and make the right decisions for yourself. And if we can help you in any way, reach out. Jeff's great on the inside of the warehouse, and I'm great outside the warehouse. So we appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys both so much. I think.
Tell your mom and daddy about Tranco Logistics. We're an up and coming company in Chattanooga.
You're actually probably talking to the mamas and daddies there. But we definitely want, I think the point is very, very well made that kids with their different viewpoint will bring a lot to the table. And if we can connect them to this industry at this point while they're still growing, developing, kicking around ideas, wow, how exciting that would be to see what all innovation might occur around that. So that's something I hadn't even thought about, but
very exciting.
Owen, do we have any final question in this last 1 or 2 minutes?
We do, and I'm going to try to squash them together since we just have that minute. I've got here, is it okay to share the PowerPoint with students? And then we have an ask on, is there a cost to the curriculum?
Yes, there is a cost. We are an online learning company. They can connect to us either via my email at and I can show that on the screen here again, or at info at villagevirtual.com. If they want to follow up, I'd be happy to talk to them about all of that sort of thing. Let me just share my screen here again quickly. But yes, there is a cost to the program. We are hoping, that we can provide more opportunity as we're able to get business and industry involved with us through the Tennessee Business Roundtable as well. They're very, very interested in helping us grow this opportunity. So there's my cell number, my office number, and my email if anyone would like to reach out for more information about the courses themselves.
And if I can go ahead and tell people, since we do have 2:15 on the dot, as you see here in the shared screen, your keyword for this session is Colorado, capital C, Colorado.
Thank you, Owen. You've been awesome. Thank you, Lindy and Jeff.
Thanks for having us.
You guys are my favorite co-presenters.
Well, and from the University of Tennessee, thank you all for your time. Hope you have a nice afternoon.
Go Vols.
Go Vols.
Bye.